Hi folks, it's Bob from Mountain Crest Farm. Whew. It's Monday morning. Y'all are probably seeing this on Tuesday. I doubt I'll get it out today. Clear blue sky. Gonna be in the 90s again today. Whew. I shouldn't complain because it's gonna be cold soon. Or cold for Georgia, not cold for some of y'all that live much farther north. But it's gonna be cold for Georgia before too awful long. And I shouldn't be complaining about the heat because then I'll just be whining about the cold. But anyway, if y'all came by and saw the live stream last night, remember, I have a live stream. It's every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's not like the coffee chat videos. It's always about homesteading as a general topic. And I usually pick something specific about homesteading that's informational. Hopefully it'll be something that people can get something out of and learn something from, and I try to be entertaining too. But that's always Sunday at 6 o'clock. And some of y'all were there that watched my coffee chats were there last night. Oh me. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the live stream. Oh my. You know, there's a channel that I've never said it on here, I don't think. But there's a channel that it's not what I would typically watch. Usually when I watch a YouTube video, I'm trying to learn something. But when I first started breeding pigs, I was looking all over YouTube for how to castrate piglets. When I started having to get serious about firewood, you know, not for show, but for heat. When we started heating with wood, I started trying to learn everything I could about firewood. Well, I watch a channel that is nothing like that. Nonna Grace is the name of the channel. Nonnagrace. Mary Grace is the lady that does it. And she is fun to watch. Yes, Mary Grace, you're fun to watch. Every time you start laughing, I start laughing. You have got such a fantastic laugh. But she also is a wealth of not information. She's a wealth of topics for my coffee chats. She'll just touch on something and she's really talking about something else, and I say, hey, that will be a good topic. And today, this is Mary Grace's topic. My video, my channel, but Mary Grace provided the topic. She did a video one day last week, and she was talking about she and her husband Jim were walking back up the driveway to the house. And I don't remember, she either said they were holding hands or they were holding hands. And she real briefly touched on, you know, they've been married for years and years. She talked about how, you know, after you've been married a long time, there's not that blazing fire anymore. She didn't say it like that. I forget exactly how she said it. And then she went on to something else. And I got to thinking, I wrote a poem one time about that. Wrote a poem for my current wife shortly before we got married. I don't remember the poem. I don't know if I could find the poem. But I'll tell you what it said. Tell you the message it had. And I think this is a pretty important message. Because after people have been together for a long time, there's not this huge explosion and fireworks. And I think that's a good thing. When you first meet somebody, and you know you really like them, I mean, past really like them, you really, really, really like them, there is a real spark, an explosion, a flash in the pan. Y'all know where flash in the pan comes from? It comes from flintlock rifles. When that hammer went down the flint struck a pan that was made of steel, caused a spark which set off the little bit of gunpowder in the pan, which went into the chamber and set the explosion off in the chamber that fired the bullet. That's where flash in the pan came from. And when you meet somebody that you just know is the right one, there's a flash in the pan. Stop and think about it. Flash in the pan is something that just happens for an instant, doesn't last. And after that flash in the pan, there's an explosion. And it is fireworks, it's an explosion, it's a blazing inferno. And then it dies down, and that's a good thing. I don't know how many of y'all have wood-burning heaters or fireplaces, but when you start a fire in a wood-burning heater, if you're relying on it for heat, you don't want this explosion, this fantastic roaring inferno. That's how you get it started. You put some nice dry kindling in there, and maybe a little bit of newspaper, and you start a fire, and you get it going really good. And you put some logs on it, and you get them going really good. Get a good fire going, get it good and hot. Get that stove hot so it's putting off some heat. But if you leave it like that, if you try to stay with a fire that hot, you're going to have problems. Your stove can overheat and crack. But if you don't have any problems like that, the problem you're going to have is you're going to go through an ungodly amount of wood. You're going to burn firewood like you're going to have to stay up all night feeding that wood-burning stove. So what do? You bank your fire. You cut the air down to it if you're using a stove. Close the dampers down, cut the air down to it. And you keep a nice, low, smoldering fire that'll last all night long. That stove will still be hot the next morning. You might get up once in the night. We do here. We got a small wood-burning stove. And I usually get up about halfway through the night and throw another log or two on it. But generally, you don't have to keep feeding it. You don't burn through a ton of firewood, and it's not a constant job to keep the stove going because you banked your fire. You got rid of that explosion, that roaring flame that was really pretty to look at, but didn't last. You got rid of that. You banked your fire. You got a nice, low, smoldering fire that would last. It would last all night long. And that's how it should be when people fall in love, in my opinion. If you keep that flash in the pan, if you keep that roaring fire going, if you keep that explosion and those fireworks going, if they just stay, they'll burn themselves out. They won't last all that long. It's when you get the banked fire, still putting off a lot of heat, still making you feel really good, but that lasts and lasts and lasts. That's how love's supposed to be. Yeah, still hold hands. Mary Grace and Jim were holding hands coming up the driveway. But I think they've banked their fire. They must have. It's lasted and lasted. It's still there. And you know what? It's still hot. When you pull apart a banked fire, when you take your poker and dig into those logs, dig into those smoldering logs and expose them, they'll flare up. There's still a lot of heat in a banked fire. It's just not all at once. It's not the fireworks. It's not the explosion. But it's still there. A lot of heat still there. And I think that's how relationships supposed to be. Still a lot of heat, but not the explosion. You're past the point of PDAs, except for maybe holding hands or a peck. Oh God, when I was young, I never did anything lewd, but PDAs was no problem. If I cared about somebody, everybody around knew it. Don't do that anymore. I still hold hands with Cindy, but no explosions. Doesn't announce to the world. Just bank the fire, keep it nice and hot, but bank the fire, and it lasts and lasts and lasts. That's about all I got today, folks. Remind you again about the live stream on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock Eastern. Be there or be square. Remind you again that down there in my description, there's a link to Amazon to a Kindle book that I wrote about 3 or 4 years ago, How to Raise Pigs. Yeah, the name of the book is not How to Raise Pigs. Nobody would buy it. That's boring. Yesterday I couldn't spell pig farmer, and today I are one. It's a Kindle book. If you're a Prime member, you can read it for free because they've got a lending library. If not, I think it's $7.99, $8.99. If you want to learn how to get started raising pigs, it's a good book. If you just want a good read, I've been told it's a fun book to read. I'm not going to say that because then I'm bragging on my book. But I've been told it's just a fun read. And let's see, anything else? Drifter, if you're watching this, you need to go watch the live stream because I don't think you were there yesterday. You need to go watch it. There's a really good reason you need to go watch that live stream. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down and tell me in the comments why you didn't like it. And if you think you like the channel and this is your first time here, hit that little subscribe button down there and ring that little bell right there next to it. That way you'll be subscribed to the channel and you'll get notifications whenever there's a new video. And always remember, always, always remember, I want y'all to have a fantastic day. And the secret to having a fantastic day is real simple. Just always remember that number 1, the tomb was empty. And number 2, he is alive. Now, go have that fantastic day. I'm going to go start sweating and get some work done. See y'all later.